speak on a very interesting talk, that is non-union. I think every orthopedic surgeon must be suffering from the non-union. After 30-35 years experience, we have tried to summarize how to treat the non-union. We have made a protocol so that whenever one person sees the cases of non-union, he should follow these techniques. Next. Causes are the mechanical failure, biological failure. Mechanical failure, the main causes are the inadequate immobilization, early walking, inadequate internal fixation. These are the mechanical causes are there. For example, that your plate in which you have fixed have a less screw. This mechanical failure in the internal fixation is usually done in the proximal tibia, because whatever 2-3 screws when you apply, they don't fix the proximal fragment. So in lot of cases we get the mechanical failure there. Next is the biological factor. The main causes are distraction at the fracture site. For example, you have put the nail, you have put the plate, and there is a gap on the non-union, on the fracture site. It will go into the non-union. Number 2, soft tissue interposition. Number 3, bone loss at the time of the fracture. Number 4, infection from an open fracture. Number 5, damage to the blood supply of the fragment. Sometimes you get the non-union. We do the very good reduction, but what happens? The fragment is avascular, so it goes into the non-union. And number 6 is the pathological fracture. So, very categorically, after doing the work of 30-35 years, we find out where is the gap, where is the non-union is there. So, number 1, it may be the Number 1, in cases of the neck femur, it goes into non-union. Number 2, where there is a whole head is not there and trochanter is not there. Number 3, the whole head and the greater trochanter, the whole thing is not there. We have to follow these cases. Number 4, there is hypertrophic of the non-union in the cases of mid shaft of the femur. Number 5, there is a non-union at the mid shaft. Number 6, there is a conical like pencil is there. So whatever you do, you are not able to do the union. Number 7, there is a bone gap. It depends how much bone gap is there. But due to infection and other things, you have removed the fragment, so there is bone gap. And in the whole upper lower portion of the immune, the condyles, they are not there. But these are the 9 stages of the fracture where you go for the non-union. Next. Whenever there is a shortening, you have to find out where is the non-union side. There is a formula there, the size, how much lengthening you will do. There is a formula for that. The size of the bone defect is equal to diastasis between the fragment by X-rays. For example, this is A, this is E. That when you have done the X-ray, you have done the magnifying rod there, you do the X-ray, you should know how much is the bone short there. And after that, we go that how much bone we will resect there. That is C and F. You take the X-ray of the normal limb, this is A and B. Now you have resected this and this, and that is the N. So you will add the AN plus here, AB minus AN. And that you will do, that is, it means whenever you are doing a case with the non-union, infected non-union, you should know how much lengthening we have to do. अभी क्या बोलता है कि अरे थोड़ा चलता है 1 सेंटीमीटर 2 सेंटीमीटर शॉर्ट कर गया, पैर बड़ा हुआ लेकिन थोड़ा 1 सेंटीमीटर चलता है, चलता कुछ नहीं जीवन में. You have to, as an Ilizarov surgeon, you should do the planning before surgery. How much lengthening we have to do So there should be no, बोला साहब ऑपरेशन भी हुआ और पैर भचक भी रहा है, तो you should have a proper planning. If you do under proper planning, so you get a lot of cases of the medical legal cases. बोला साहब ऑपरेशन के बाद भी मैं भचकता हूँ, limp है, so you should do the proper planning. And after that, how much lengthening you have to do? You have to do X-ray, put the magnifying thread rods there, find out by X-ray how much magnification is there in the X-ray. So you can exactly know how much lengthening we have to do that. Next. The type of techniques. Before you starting your treatment, you should know how many types of technique that we can use in the non-union side. Number one is the monofocal. I will tell you the trace what is monofocal. And number two, monofocal compression osteosynthesis. It means we have to do at one side, we will do only compression. Number second, monofocal distraction osteosynthesis. And number third, monofocal combined compression and distraction osteosynthesis. And number four, bifocal combined compression distraction osteosynthesis. Now I will tell you in the details with the X-rays that what is this 4 techniques. You have to know 4 types: monofocal compression osteosynthesis, monofocal distraction osteosynthesis, and number third, monofocal combined compression distraction osteosynthesis, and number 4, bifocal combined compression osteosynthesis. If you know these techniques, I tell you, you will never fail out in non-union treatment. Next. Second thing is that when you are going to do the non-union, this is the infected case of the non-union there that you have to resect it, and you do the compression here. So this is the monofocal compression osteosynthesis. Now I am going to tell the X-rays. This thing is clear to everybody? Because this is very important. How many types are there? Treatment? You tell me please. Tell me Stan, how many?
Monofocal compression, monofocal restriction, monofocal combined, bifocal combined.
Yeah. So you should know that. So I am going to tell you the example of the monofocal compression osteosynthesis. Next. This is a case of the infected non-union femur. Usually you get, every orthopedic surgeon must be getting that we should know how to deal these cases. First of all, we remove this nail and we clean the cavity and we do over-rimming of the fragment, because you have to bleed the inside the medullary cavity, and you have to remove all cageated material there, and after that you apply the frame. So this is the case of the infected non-union femur. After IM nailing, this is the pre-operative X-ray. Next. So what we have done? We have removed the nail, we have cleaned the cavity, we have done the over-rimming that, and after that we have compressed that here. We have compressed that, and this is final result. Because we have very less time, so we cannot show the details of all the cases. So after that, you are having very good callus formation. Next, another case, you must be getting lot of external fixator being applied over the non-union side. Lot of cases there. So this is the case of the non-union. You can see the dead pieces are there. Here, this is the infected dead piece there. So we have to remove the frame next. And what we have done, we made the transverse fragments like this. And after that, you see that, and we have compressed that, and this is the final, very beautifully solid union is there. Next. Is there another case in which then the external fixator were there? It was there. So the frame was removed and the plating was then there. So when the plating was done, that did not already become infected there. So whenever there is an infected external fixator is a very complicated to apply the plate there. So it has again become the non-union there. Very, very bad non-union. Is a long oblique split type of the non-union is there. Next. So what we have done, we have applied the frame, we applied here some fixation there. What we have done, we have made like this and make like this here. So that we made the slot over here. By doing the slot, this slot had gone inside the bone here. You can see there. It's to go inside, and we have given the compression there. You can see in the lateral view also, and after a beautifully consolidated bone will form there. Next. In another case, so what we do in those cases, we put a dye to see that what is the site of the infection, where the bone goes infection. So we have put the dye over here, next. So we have debride the whole things, and this is the final non-union, the solid bone. Next. This is the case of the TKR. You must be getting lot of TKR cases, infected. So there are two things there. Either you put the spacer, we are also doing spacer there. Now question arises where to do the infection and where to do the Ilizarov. The patient is quite young, good solid bone is there. So we will remove the implant and we will do the plater. There is in Kurgan, Professor Junwala must be doing, there is a specialized hospital is there. So from all over the Rasa, they goes there, there is a test for the infected TKR and THR. If you are interested, you talk to Professor Junwala. Every day they do 2 cases, 3 cases of the THR and TKR. So they have made a criteria where to do the Ilizarov orthodesis and where to do the spacer. In this case, I am presenting here to show the Ilizarov orthodesis. Next. So what we have done here, we applied the whole frame. The main thing is when you cut there, you should a broad transverse fragment so that the fragment when you compress it, there should be no space there. That is the fundamental secret of the orthodesis. And you can see that gradually we have applied that compression here, next. Here we have done the compression there, and you can see the good, beautifully orthodesis bone, solid bone is there. Next. Now we come to the, you have seen the monofocal compression orthodesis. Okay? Everybody is agreed now. Now we are going that monofocal distraction orthodesis. There are certain criteria where we do monofocal compression and another is where we do the distraction orthodesis. Next. For example, this bone is there, but we are doing some, gradually we got some callus there, so we have removed that and we are doing the distraction osteogenesis. Next. So it was a case there, so there was some callus was there, here we got some callus was there. So in this case, we have done the distraction osteogenesis. Next. You see that as soon as we were doing the distraction, good amount of callus regeneration is there. You can see that. And after that, very good consolidated bone was present there. Next. This is another case. This is the clear-cut instruction of the distraction osteogenesis. What we will do, we are getting the callus formation here, and we are bringing this fragment downward, and by olive wire and other place we have reduced it. You can see that. Next. So you can see that we have done the anatomical reduction by the help of the olive wires, and this is the final result. Another option was you have to open it and you have to do the plating there. But there were a lot of problems because this 1 year old non-union, it becomes difficult to bring the downward. So this technique is wonderful for this type of fractures. Next. Now, we are coming to monofocal combined compression distraction osteogenesis. Now you have seen the cases of the monofocal compression. Okay? You have seen the cases of the monofocal distraction. Now we are coming to see that monofocal combined compression and distraction. Next. Now here we see the cases of the fracture there. We have made the diagrammatic representation. First of all, we make them straight. We do the percutaneous cutting of the fragments here. We make like this and now compress it and distract it. Next. This is another case. This is here dye we have produced the infection there. So what we have done, we have made the anatomical mechanical axis, then we have compressed that, and after that we have distract that. Next. So you can see that we have compressed. Only thing is the bone will unite. Why the bone does not unite? Whenever the mechanical axis and anatomical axis is not straight, if there is 1 to 2 degree of the angulation is there, we get the non-union in the subtrochanteric fracture even after applying the BHS because it goes into the varus. Whenever you treat a fracture, mind you, it should be 0 degree of the angulation there. If there is a 1 degree of the angulation is there, so it will go into non-union. What happens? When you apply the Ilizarov frame, you do not bother. There is a 1, 2, 3 degree of the varus. बोला चलता है, चलता जीवन में कुछ नहीं. Ultimately, patient will go into the non-union. If you study your cases, all the non-union cases goes into the some angulation, either in AP view. You see all my cases, there is no even 1 degree of the angulation. In the same case, you applied there, you have made the straight, there is no angulation. If there should be 1 degree angulation, I tell you, the bone will not unite because there is axial forces, compression forces are there. If there is a 1 to 2 degree of the angulation, they will go, the torsion forces are there. So bone will not unite it. I tell you, if there is no angulation, the bone must unite. When you apply your fracture trauma cases by internal fixation, you go and study your cases. If there had been no angulation, the bone will unite. Next. This is another case. They are infected non-union femur. This is a pre-operative X-ray. So what we have done? We have done the compression. What we have done? We have done the compression there, and after that we have compressed it. You see, there is no angulation, and after that we have final X-ray with the solid bone there. Next. Now we are going another thing, that is bifocal combined compression distraction osteogenesis. Next. This is the place, it has got the non-union infected there. One thing I tell you very clear, whenever you do the compression, sometimes when you do the docking and other things, there is a even non-union at the docking side. So for that, what you do? It is the common mistake. We transport the bone, we apply the bone there, we compress it. Even that bone does not unite. For that, when you open the bone, you have to make like this, like ball and socket, ball and socket. If you don't do that, I tell you, whatever pressure you do, the bone will not do. This is very, very clear or not? Clear? You do the ball and socket type of things. Before when you cut infect the bone, you make like this. So that if you make the irregular cutting, the bone is not going to contact it. There should be no space, even 1 to 2 millimeter at the fracture side or the non-union side. So before you cut it, You have to make a ball and socket like this. Now here we have done the compression. We have done the combined compression. Compression we do by distraction here. Here we do the distraction there, so the bone will go and combine. If it is not here, the bone will not combine. You can see that this is diagrammatic representation there. Next. This was a case of infected non-union fever. We have debride that, make the socket like this. This is a pre-operative X-ray. Next. So you see that ball socket. This is like this. We have done the compress that, and here lengthening was done here. Here lengthening was there here. Ball and socket was there. So the bone is united. Next. So this the lengthening we have distraction lengthening we have done here. Next. The bone is united beautifully. Next. Now we have done that femur non-union. If any doubt, you can ask me. Any doubt for that? Yeah.
How many days we have to compress before distraction and compression?
Yeah, this is very good question. What happens in the non-unions or other places? We do the compress. Here, for example, you compress it. Gradually, what happens? The bone is sometimes dead there. Every week, for Monday, Wednesday, for 4 weeks, you will do the compression. You have reduced that. You think that the bone has going to compressed because till the wires are become curved like this. That is the basic principle. And every week, after reduction and reaching the bone, every week, Monday and Wednesday or Thursday, you will do 0.5 millimeter, 1 millimeter compression till the patient cries of the pain or the wires are curved there. Otherwise, I tell you, you have reduced it, you have compressed it, the bone will not be right. Next. Now I am going to tibia non-union. What's that? So when you are going to tibia non-union, you have to see over the shaft. Here, how much is the gap is there? The gap may be over the metaphysis. Here, be over the proximal metaphysis and over the epiphysis and shaft combined defect is there. So you have to find out where is the gap is there. Next. Next back. Okay. So you have to see that bone is, there is a total loss of bone is there, partial loss is there, or partial less than 2/3 of the bone only. These are 3 types of bone loss is there. So before that, you have to put the dye because it may be only involved one bone. It may be involved. For example, you have opened it and you are cutting the 2 things because the dye is not there. It means this bone is unaffected. Number 2, it may go into the bone union, bone both the side. Number 2, bone may not be involved. Infection may be here. And number 4, it may be here only, and it may be the whole of the bone there. So before that, you should have a clear idea where the infection is there. Next. So in the same way, here we have monofocal compression, monofocal distraction including limb length, bifocal compression, other non-standard techniques, and bifocal distraction is there. Because every day we get some cases of non-union of the tibia. This is a very important topic is there. Next. Now we are going to have the monofocal compression. This monofocal compression, mostly we get into the plating here, non-union in this area. Monofocal compression. Next. So this is the case of the non-union. We have to make a planning of the application of hinges for the correction of the deformity before the surgery, before the night of that case. For example, in this case, next, is the cases of a 20 degree of the procurvatum and here 7 degree of the varus is there. Next. So we have made the hinges like this. This is case of non-union. We have corrected it. Finally, straight bone is there. Next. These were very complicated. Came to us from Lucknow. 2 years back, got the non-union. Very big chunk is there. So what? So it's a very good 2 years there was non-union. Next. So you can see that how much non-union is there. Next. So what we have done, percutaneous, we have cut the fragment. Here we have fashioned that and this whole thing was done the percutaneous. We have put olive oil there, bring that, next it was there, and this is the next, and this is the final union of the fragment. The axis is quite straight there. Next, this is another case of the infected non-union. Next, so we applied the frame in this way. Next, the bone is united. Okay. Now this is a very important case. This is a monofocal combined and consecutive distraction compression osteosynthesis. For example, this is a case is there where there is a overriding of the fragment, fibula is there. So what we will do in this case is distraction and compression. Next. So in the same case, this was the case there. We have distracted that and we will come. You can see that beautifully the bone has united. So there are variety of cases I will tell you. Next. This is another case. We are having the nailing was there. So we have removed the frame and the book united. Next. This is another case. In that case, there was no overriding was there. No, there was in that fibula was fracture. In this case, it's a very long, about 6 centimeter gap is there. So what we have done is the 6 centimeter gap is there. So what we have done the osteotomy there. And by osteotomy, we have compressed the bone there. Okay. And when we have compressed that, we have done the lengthening distraction there. And what happens when the bone has reached there? So again we have done the lengthening of, we have brought that fragment downward. So you understand that. It was the case, we have done the osteotomy, we have done the compression there, and after that when bone has, we have made the curve like this. Again that we have done the distraction there, and we bring the fragment anatomically reduction of the fibula also. Next. So it is another case of the fibula tibia plating, pre-operative X-ray. Next. So we applied everything, and this is the biomechanical consecutive compression distraction osteosynthesis. Next. This is another case, very important case. So this is a bifocal consecutive distraction compression osteosynthesis. Distraction means you have removed everything, you have done the distraction there, and when you know everything, you have to make socket ball, and when you reach there, the bone is united. Next, this is another case, same type of case there. We have removed the bone, we have the distraction there, and the bone is united. This is a case of another case. He has done the this ball at TKR. Next, so we have removed that. And this is the bony union is there. Next, this is a very complicated case is there. This was a case of the gap non-union there. So this is polyfocal consecutive distraction compression osteosynthesis. So what we have done there, we have done the osteotomy here osteotomy. We have done the distraction there, and we have compressed here. We have compressed here with that, this is a polyfocal. We have done the distraction there. So when this fragment had reached to that place here, so there was overriding up there. Again, we have done another corticotomy, and we have done the distraction. By that way, we have made the bony union. Next. So it was the same case there. So we have done polyfocal consecutive distraction, then fibula was there, and after that the bone is united. Next. This is another case, complicated compound fracture. All the bone pieces are dead there. So in those cases we do the fibula transfer there, here. Sometimes we split the fibula here. Next. So you can see that, very infected. There is a bone gap is there. So we have taken the fibula and we made the tibialization of the fibula there. This is a final X-ray. Next. So it's another case. Infected. Applied the fibula. Very good union is there. Next. This is another case. It was infected there. Some processes were there. So we have done the fibula transportation there, here, next. This gap was there, we have done the fibula